Hi, Sailor Moon here, Sailor Venus here, and today we're going to talk about the time that the Walt Disney business, or Disney for short, had ownership over Sailor Moon. Now you're saying, what? How could Disney have had ownership over Sailor Moon at all? Well, how Disney ended up getting the rights to it was that in between 95 YL, the Walt Disney business bought the American broadcast business, or the Vinland broadcast business. And at the time, DEEK was one of the many teams or offshoots that was owned by that business that formerly owned ABC. When Disney bought ABC in between 95 YL, they got everything that came along with it, and including DEEK. And DEEK, which had the rights, broadcast streaming rights, to make, which DEEK had many streaming rights and many broadcast rights and the rights to make drawing shows. And also they had the right to Sailor Moon from between 94 YL when they won the rights up until between 99 YL when their deal ended. At that time, DEEK was owned by the folks that owned ABC. When ABC got bought by Disney, well, DEEK became one of Disney's teams. And that's how Disney had the rights to Sailor Moon from between 95 YL until between 99 YL when the deal ended. And then Clover would end up getting the rights. Now, some folks out there wondered, was there a time where Disney wanted ownership? Yes, there was a time where the leaders of the Walt Disney business thought that they wanted to buy Sailor Moon from the TOEI business and TAKEUCHI, however you say her name, and their belief was that they could make a live film, and the only thing they thought stopping them from making that live film was they didn't truly have the ownership or double right that belonged to TOEI and TAKEUCHI. So Disney came up with a deal, and they thought that TOEI and TAKEUCHI would go for it, and both sides said no, that they were not going to be selling Sailor Moon over to them. And when the deal with DEEK ended, that would also end their time with it. Yeah, Disney wanted to make a live film, at least that was what I heard, and their belief was that if they had ownership over it, they could do a lot of things with it. Now, a lot of folks wonder, how would a Disney-owned Sailor Moon look like? Well, it probably wouldn't really look anything like how DEEK or Cloverway, what they did with it, or what TOEI did with it, or what Pioneer, Pathseeker did with it, and it wouldn't really look anything like what Viz was doing with it. You want to put some things out there? Yeah, Sailor Moon, alright. Well, Sailor Moon, no one really knows what a Disney-owned Sailor Moon would look like. First off, Sailor Moon would be more skimmed than it was under DEEK and Cloverway's watch. I don't think Disney would let Sailor Moon be the way it was fully under Viz's watch. So they're hard to say. And some folks might say, why did they even want to have ownership over Sailor Moon to begin with? Well, to be honest with you, I don't know. I guess they thought that if they owned it, they could do things with it, and they could make them a lot of gold, and they thought if they had ownership over it, they could do things with it that they couldn't do with just having the streaming or broadcast rights to it, which DEEK did up from between 95 YL into about between 99 YL. But sadly, TOEI, the TOEI business, and NAOKO TAKEUCHI did not sell it over. They fought about it and fought that Disney had Mickey Mouse and many other selves, that many other things that they owned, their own things, and things that they fought over their long years. Now, over time, they did end up buying the Mite Keepers, but that came out of, once again, that came out of the Walt Disney business buying Fox Kin, naming it ABC Kin, and then naming it Freeform years later. And by doing so, they also bought Glee. They also, besides buying ABC Kin, which became Freeform years later, they also bought Siobhan Glee. And by buying Siobhan Glee, they also had ownership over the Mite Keepers as well, from 2001 to 2010 YL. And we all know how Disney handled the Mite Keepers. So, yeah, Disney may have fought if they couldn't get ownership over Sailor Moon. They felt that they could at least have worked with the Mite Keepers, which in their belief was something that was doing well. Now we're getting fully off track here, but what I mean to say is that we don't really know what they would have done with it. And yes, there were talks that Disney wanted to make a Sailor Moon film, and the only thing stopping them was not having the full ownership or double right over it, as they would if they were the owners of it. But TOEI business and NAOKO TAKEUCHI chose not to sell it to them. And later on, Disney would get some ownership of it. Yes, the DiC one would be sold over to Disney, and I would say at least in between 99 YL. And when Disney would sell off DiC in 2001 YL in favor for buying Siobhan, that would end their time of anything that had to do with Sailor Moon. And some folks think that it was only their way of getting out of the deal. Now, another grounds to why the live film didn't work is that it was a way of Disney and DiC it was a way of not upholding the deal. Want to go back to you, Sailor Moon? Yeah. Before we end this film, another grounds to why, you're right, Sailor Venus, another grounds to why the film never worked was that DiC had a deal to do the first two followings of Sailor Moon. And if they would have done a film that would go against the deal that DiC had worked with TOEI before the Disney buyout of ABC, it will, right before or after the Disney buyout of ABC had happened. So yes, there would have been a law work on DiC and Disney for not upholding the deal. Another ground to why that film never happened. So yes, there was a time where Disney did want to have ownership over Sailor Moon, and the time that Disney had any runner lead over Sailor Moon was from between 95 YL till about 99 YL, when Disney owned DiC, which was owned by ABC, when they bought ABC from its former owners. If you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the other film you made yesterday over here. I, Sailor Moon Serena, I, Sailor Venus Mina, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.